Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm super excited. Today we will be interviewing another Aussie author. I seem to be having a string happening here, but gotta support my locals. I will be interviewing Kay Maree. So I first came across this author when I went into an anthology with her and one that she conducted about 6 months ago. So we had released a vampire anthology together, which had 12 authors all included, and it was quite an interesting experience. I had never been in an anthology before and I really enjoyed it. And Kay Maree was the mastermind behind that, and she's been doing a lot of anthologies. So I'm really curious as to ask her questions on that because I couldn't even imagine. I struggle with my own deadlines sometimes with writing books, let alone organizing 12 altogether to make sure that deadlines are in, how to market them, how the whole experience is. For her own book, she focuses on Mafia and MC, but recently has been going into paranormal and romance. So I'm really intrigued to see how she even went that way and why and everything else that comes between. But what I really want to know is who is Kate Maree? So here we are, here she is, and let's say hi and be nice, guys. Here we go. Start with question one. So you live in Newcastle in Australia. What is it like living in Australia?
At the moment or together?
Both.
Okay. So, I love Australia. Why wouldn't you love Australia? We've got the best beaches in the world. We've best slang in the world. The way we talk, sometimes people think that we've lost our own mind and we've got our own dictionary, which probably there actually is. It's probably called Bogans R Us or something. No, at the moment, the world's just gone nuts. So I think living here is pretty much like living anywhere else at the moment because everyone's either sequestered to their own house or their own little private areas for obviously health reasons. So I don't know, the world's just crazy at the moment. I think people have just lost their mind. But so right now I've always been proud to be an Australian until about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, and kind of lost a little bit of respect for my fellow Australians, I guess, because of the way that people act. And right now we're dealing with people coughing on people and on food and going into police stations and causing havoc. And so I'm not really proud to be an Australian when it comes to this sort of stuff because it's very, very disgusting actually. So I'm trying to bring up 3 children that to love who they are, love their country, love, help like anybody that needs help to help them. And then you've got the world and you put on the news and there's always another idiot on there showing exactly why someone should be ashamed of being Australian right now. And all these good people are not getting the light that they need because all these disgusting, and that's what I'm going to say, the disgusting people are overshadowing everything that's good about this country. Yeah, just basically, I know it's happening in America and stuff, like people are losing their shit, like I said. But I think coming from the huge bushfires that we just had and then the floods and stuff and people being together and, it was true Australian culture. We just all being together and we helped when we could help and donated what we could donate. And then this pandemic hit and all of a sudden it was, who cares about the lesser man? We're going to worry about me and just grab everything. Like I got told a story by my next door neighbour the other day. An old lady got pushed out of the way to get some dog food at the shopping centre. It's just nuts. People are just, I don't know. I don't know. It got to the point where I had tissue paper in my trolley and I gave it to an older gentleman that was standing there and he had nothing. So, and I just want to see more of that, I guess. I don't know. That's a little bit off course of your question, but unfortunately it's fully loaded at the moment. Your question, it's fully loaded.
Yeah.
So it's just, I am proud to be Aussie, but just not right now.
Everyone's scared, but it doesn't really it hasn't brought out the best in people in general. They're still amazing people, but I personally haven't seen it myself because I haven't been able to leave quarantine since being here, so I haven't been out into the shops and that. So, and I don't really watch the news at the moment because it's rather depressing.
I get being scared. Like, you couldn't be further from truth there. Like, everybody is scared. But there's a time where you just got to, it ain't going to work and it's only going to get worse if you're not working together in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, practice your social distancing. Stay away from public areas if you don't actually need to be there because you may not be worried about you, but it's who you're taking it home to. Or, so it's just scary. It is. And I get it, but I don't know what toilet paper has to do with it, but maybe that's just on a level I don't understand. So I'm probably just not that smart when it comes to toilet paper and wondering where it comes from. Because
Sweet. So I just put headphones in because we were having some IT glitches and issues. So me and Kay are now headphone buddies. So my next question was, when was the moment that you decided to write your first book, Angel Mine, and how did you find the process? Like, what made you want to write this book?
I don't know. I was sitting on the lounge one day back in 2015, it would have been, and next minute I just had this story pop into my head, and then all of a sudden names just started shouting at me, and I was like, oh, maybe I've got to write this stuff down. And at that point I was reading a lot, and I was basically a 400 a day reader, a page a day reader. So I thought I wasn't really like shocked when it came, but so anyway, I started writing. It took me about 8-9 months to finish Angel Mine and to get it done and stuff like that. And the process was just crazy. It was like I had this story now, and I just needed to, that's all I needed to do. And I just sat at the computer every chance I had, or on the lounge with a notepad and pen, and just wrote and just kept writing. And I didn't really tell many people. I did tell a few, and they were like, oh, why bother? What's it going to get you in life and all this stuff? And I, you know, and I've always been a self-conscious person anyway when it comes to myself. And I had doubts, obviously, but just nothing would stop me from writing it. So I thought there has to be a reason. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to write it, just get it to the end and see how far I go. And if I get it done, I get it done. If I don't, then do you know what? There's no harm, no foul. At least I tried. And but I'm not one of those people that likes to start and not finish something. So that just pushed me to keep going anyway. But then I went to Books by the Bridge. I think it was actually their first one in Sydney. And I met so many people, and they were lovely. And JL Perry, she was actually one of my favourite authors at the time. She wrote Bastard. And that really kicked my ass, because she wrote about Sydney and Newcastle and stuff. And I'm like, I live in Newcastle. I can write this shit. So anyway, I went there and I met some few people. I met one of my good friends, Candace Dowds. She's amazing. I love her. She's cracker. And they just handed me their number. Like literally, she just handed me a number and said, you need to call me. We're going to chat and we're going to get this shit done. And then from then on, and then I met Susan Hornsnell as well the same day. And we connected afterwards, and she became my editor, and she just taught me through the whole process. I've always had insecurities about the way that I write and stuff, because I've always struggled with spelling and stuff. And I said to Susan, so I'm really worried because I trouble spelling and with punctuation and grammar and stuff like that. And she goes, that's why you've got me. Just write the story. Even if it's the wrong words or you've spelt it wrong or something like that, it's okay. We will fix that. I just need you to get that story down, and then we can go. They helped me. They mentored me straight through and stuff like that. And then I think it was the next year in 2017, I published Angel Mine, and then it's just basically never looked back sort of thing.
So you are the fabulous mastermind behind 7 anthologies now, 5 published, 2 still to release.
Yeah.
And that was actually where we first met. So I was a part of your Dirty Dozen Vampire Edition, and I absolutely loved it. I found the experience, I'd never been in an anthology before, so I found the experience very fluid. You had directed everyone, deadlines, you're on top of everyone. So I have a couple of questions on this. My first one being, why did you decide to start doing anthologies, and why have you continued to do them?
Last year I put together a princess anthology, and what we did was just recreate. Well, you can't, it's not Disney related, but we took the princesses and then you had to recreate in your own worlds, real time and stuff like that. So it was the basis of a princess from the Disney, and then go from there and write a story. And then after that, I kept getting messages like, oh, are you going to do any more and stuff like that? And I thought, oh, do you know what? That was a lot of work. It was a lot of work. And it took me about a year with that one. That's how long we actually gave ourselves to do it. And I started because I was in a major writer's block. And a few of my other friends were in major writer's blocks. And we thought, you know what, in between our normal work, how about we just have something fun? We can do this. And so that's how it all started. And then after it got published and whatever else like that, it was really great. And I realized that the group of girls that I actually had, minus one, and I will mention it because you know what, it's part of the history. It's already all over Facebook anyway. If you Google it, it'll probably actually be there as well. It was a really good group of girls, and it didn't matter even if you didn't want to talk about the anthology or your story. If you needed somewhere just to vent, you had that group that could be behind you. So even if you were struggling just mentally on that day, you had 11 other people that you know that were either going through it or been through it, and they can talk to you and get you back on. It was like a support system, and I love that. And because as you know, with the messages, they can just go bang, 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 and you're missing so much, right? So somebody's going to catch something eventually at some point. So if you've come in late and you've got a question about what was next, somebody else can fill you in without having to go spend hours trying to find where that one part was. Trust me, it's took me a long time sometimes to find things, and it drives me insane. And you're trying to explain, you can actually search in a conversation when you have a message to see, you just type in a relevant word and it will bring it up. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But it was just basically if you go into the settings with Messenger on Facebook, it says search in conversation. So I do it all the time. So if I say, I looked in my messages last night to my mother, and all I wrote was, because I knew I'd wrote to mum something. So I just I wrote mum, and then it brought up every conversation that I said my mother's name or mum. And I just flicked through it and went, oh, that's the one I needed, and clicked onto it, and then it'll bring you up, and then you can either go up or down or whatever from that area. So yeah, it's pretty handy to have. And then in that same section, it will actually show you all the photos that have actually ever been downloaded into that chat group, all the files, everything. You just got to hit the subtitles for it, and it will show you everything that's ever been put into that group chat.
Well, I was going to say, so then my next question then is, how did you go with, because obviously now you're working on Anthology 6 and 7, what do you find the hardest part about managing? Because I personally struggle, with like my own deadlines and stuff and making sure that everything's intact. So how do you deal with working with another 11 authors as well, sort of making sure they're on their time management?
Well, every couple of days or a week or so, I'll let them go, obviously, because once you've got your guidelines and you've got your rules and you know where you're at with the word count, you just kind of go, you know what, I don't need to be your mum in this. You're an author. You know what you've got to do. Write your story. And then every couple of weeks or even a couple of days, I'll just check in and go, how's everyone doing? And then for the people that don't reply back to me, I just PM them personally, because they could have had an issue and family or something. So I'll just go, I just want to double check that you're okay. Make sure that you're online, and that if there's any troubles, just talk to me. I'm pretty actually easygoing person until you hit to that point where I get pissed off. And I'm pretty lenient, even though everyone has to sign a contract now because of that first anthology I did with that one person. Everyone has to sign a contract now. It's one, to protect me, and to protect every other author that I work with. So that way they know they're getting paid. They know they're going to get whatever. It's hard, it is, especially when you've got so many on the go. Like I have 3 on the go, 4 on the go in the last, I've got another one coming up. We've had to push the deadline back because a few people pulled out, so I've just had to fill those spots. And me with my writer's block didn't really bloody help me either. So, but to try and keep everybody on schedule, so you're thinking you've got 12 authors or even 11 authors in one group, right? And then you add another 3 anthologies onto that. So that's quick math here, let's go, 48 people, 48, is that right? 4 anthologies, about 48, 50 authors. So it's not just these 12 that I'm worrying about, I'm worrying about the other 30 something people as well. So it's a line base that if you have a really good group and they can be in touch with you as much as you need them to be, it will go really smoothly. It takes one person. It's like dominoes. It's like cards. You take one away, and I have had it, and I've had to deal with it, and it's stressful, and it's what it is. But the end, if I can just get the ladies to the end, and we can get that little baby published, it's like a major accomplishment. And I get a really big thrill when it happens, because I think, yes, that one was without a hitch. Now we've got 3 months, and it's going to be available for 3 months, and then I jump onto the next one, obviously, and just keep going to whatever release date's next. And everyone else gets to sit back and go, I was part of that. I was in that. And it was never for me to earn money, because I don't earn money off any of these. Everybody gets their share. If you put 2 stories in or 1 story or whatever, you get that share. So you get whatever it comes to, and then it's divided by the 12, and then it gets separated. So yeah, there is a buy-in, but you're more than likely, if you were marketing these along with me, and that was what it was. I'm not just your sole marketer. You need to market this too. If you put that energy in, you're going to get the return. I barely have enough time to market my own stuff, let alone put 100% into solely looking after 12 people and marketing for them as well. Because I may have a small reach, but if you gather the 12, that becomes 12 times bigger, obviously. So it's stressful. It's hard. keeping it all in line. Then I've got the signing and my own stuff, my kids and my husband, and I think I'm a glutton for punishment. I really do. But I love it. I love it. And then when I hear the messages, and it gives me a thrill that I helped them get to that point. Like international bestseller over Christmas with the MC edition, and then it happened again with the Alpha edition. And just so many. Thank you. And it just became to the point of each author. Doesn't matter if you have a small part in this or a major part. You've accomplished that. Yeah. And there's nothing better than getting a message and say, wow, that's amazing. Because you just look and go, it wasn't just me, it was you. You helped do this. So I don't know. I think I like the idea. I'm not one to sit back and take applause or congratulations. I would like to just spread that out with everybody and go, you know what, you did this. And it's a good feeling to know that you're a part of something that was very successful, or wasn't, even if it wasn't successful, you're a part of something and you got to meet new people. Like you said, I didn't know you before you came in, and but you just moved in and it was just a flow, and it was good because everyone just kept on going, and to last minute where we were all frantic and there was no hate in it. It was just, we got this. Don't worry about it. We've got this. And it's amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, I do appreciate every single one of those authors in every anthology. And
I love that you're creating this community for people. I really do. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I didn't set out to do that. Honestly, I didn't. I think I thought I was bored and I didn't have enough on my plate. So I went, let's do this. And then I went, oh, shit. All right. Well, we're committed now. Let's do it.
And look how it worked out.
Really
it was your calling.
Yeah. Apparently. Yeah, apparently. And my friend said to me, oh, you're so silly. You should be getting something from this. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm bringing people together where they, you know what, they may only be friends for 5 minutes, or they could actually become friends for a while. And there's nothing wrong with having extra author friends. Like, everyone needs to share their struggles. So nothing worse than watching an author fall and no one's there to help pick her up. So
I love that.
Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question or not. I don't know. I think I elaborate a lot.
You did.
Yeah.
It was a perfect answer. It's so
good.
nice.
That's good. Because I always grew up with my parents used to tell me you could talk underwater and you just take one word and you could have this whole elaborate thing. And I'm like, I know.
And that's why you became an author.
Yeah, spread my crazy across the world. Yeah.
Have one small concept blows into 5-book series.
Yeah. I'm seriously, I contemplate some of the stuff that I pull out of my ass sometimes, and I think, how did I do that? I don't even know where I got the mentality, like the brain. Like Kathleen Kelly, she's a beautiful person, and she messages me one time. She says, I don't know how you do it. And I said, I don't know. I think I threw an extra bit of vodka in my cup of tea this morning. It's all good. We got this. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But no, I have a really good support system. I do. I have fantastic friends and family and blah, 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 and a husband that annoys the crap out of me. But he's there and he knows when to feed me and stuff when he's home from work. Yeah, because otherwise I won't eat. I'll be stressing over this and stressing over that. And yeah, I don't know. Again, with the elaboration. See, I'm very dramatic. It's okay. We got this. It's all right.
I always love the person who can admit and be honest and say, I'm a dramatic person and I'm okay with that. I'm great.
That's it. I am very dramatic. I'm literally one in the corner going, oh my God, it's the end of the world. And then I'll sit in the corner and rock back and forth. And my husband's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't know. Should have asked that 15 years ago. But anyway, yeah.
What do you think the biggest misconception of being an author is?
I think that maybe that people think that we have the easiest job in the world. Look, I think that people just take us authors as a simple fact of we sit in our pajamas. Okay, well, I'm going to take that back because we actually do sit in our pajamas. That it's not that it's easy, that it's we don't spend as much hours as we do into this. Like I said, it took me about 8-9 months to write Angel Mine, and no, it didn't take me long to do the others afterwards because I already knew the story, so it was already flowing as I was writing anyway. Like it's been 2 years since my last Mine book's been released because I can't. The story's just not there. So people think that we make it up and go, you know what, just write, you're a writer. You should be. And it's not. It's so hard because it's not you. You're telling a story about, they may be made up people, but it's not your story. It's the characters that live inside us it's their story. So you're not really being true to yourself if you are just writing because you're writing. I don't know how I can't even contemplate that because I can't even picture just writing a story without having it in my head. Does that make sense? I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's like I always joke and say, if you ever see me arguing myself, I'm just in a meeting and people lose their mind and go, oh, you're an idiot, Kay. But they actually, authors are so, that we give up so many hours with our kids, with our family. Some of us don't eat sometimes, some of it, or we're just snacking all the time. yes, it's not, it's not the sometimes we don't shower for days because we're so into a script that we just want to keep writing, because otherwise it goes. And unlike me, if I get a brain block, I will go and have a shower, and the shower helps me clear out the fog, and I can keep going. But the misconception is the simple fact that people just think that we say, oh, it took this long, and we're being dramatic about it. We're not. We really have given up so much of our time, and it's not a hardship for us because we love doing it. But then the people just throw it in our faces, like as if, you took too long to write this book, or you said this one was going to be out, and stuff like that. And you just think, I'm trying, I'm doing the best that I can. All you do is sit at home and write. You should be able to have this done by now. That's not true. Like we do have lives ourselves, and we have family things and issues and stuff. And like I went through some losses over the last couple of years, and I never brought that to Facebook well, because it's not their business, it was mine, and I had to deal with that. My PA obviously knew and stuff like that, and they try to keep me on the right track, but I've struggled to write since then. But I just think that people just think that we lie when we say we haven't moved from this spot, or it took 4 months to do that one story. It may have took them a day to read it, but it took us a month, like 4 months. Talking to another author about it is different, because you understand that the issues, the struggles, the whole thing that you've got to get through. But when you do talk to some readers, and you have amazing readers, but then there can be that one person that puts you on that stool and goes, you know what? No, this is bullshit. And you're just like, you got to try and, as an author, you got to try and push past that and not let that bother you, because otherwise you become stalemate in a sense. And then you become to the point of, what's the point in trying? No one is going to actually believe that this is what's actually going on. We're more than what we put on a page. I've suffered writer's block for the last 5-6 months now, and it's killing me, absolutely killing me. It's driving me insane. But people will say it's bullshit. All you got to do is write. I don't know what your problem is. I don't understand why you can't just sit there and write. I just don't have this is the first time I've sat actually in front of my computer for probably 3 months, 2 months. I sat here this morning and did some stuff for my son that he wanted done, but I just have no will for it right now, and that's scary, and it worries me, and it's upsetting, because in my head it's going, you've got a story, and I'm like, I know, but from getting it from there to actually putting it on paper, I can't do it. I don't know. I know the story. I know how it starts, I know how it ends, and I know what happens in the middle. But I look at the piece of paper in my hand, or I look at the computer, and all of a sudden it just disappears. And it's very upsetting. And the fact that you're never going to have everybody on your side, but you could at least have somebody that them understand that it's not just sitting and writing. There's a whole mental process to get it from here to there.
So I guess then that kind of starts answering like my next question, because my next question is, what's been the highlight of your career so far, and also what's been, you know, the downfall, I suppose, a moment in your career. So I suppose perhaps now is one of those moments where you're dealing with writer's block, that you're trying to sort of overcome that. Maybe that's the down part.
Yeah, it is. That would be the down part, the writer's block. And I think that's every writer's downfall is the writer's block. All this, you know, you get bad reviews and you get all that, but nothing is worse than being stuck and not being able to do anything about it when you know you've got it there still. My art would be, people would think, oh, you know what, because you became an international bestseller with 11 other authors, that be your my art. Actually, it's not. My art would be, one, I published a book. I started, I finished. That is my art. My first book I done. And I showed my kids, doesn't matter how old you are, you can keep going. It's something no one can take away from you. After each book, no one can take that away. You've done that. That's a success that half the people can't do. But bringing what you picture in your head to paper, and then putting a cover on it, putting a blurb, the worst things in the world, on it, and then seeing someone come up and hug you at a signing, and they're so worried about meeting you. And you're just like, that is a kick. But my major art would have to be working with all the ladies in my anthologies. That would be it, because it's just amazing the bonds that formed, or the ones that have already formed.
What do you think the most important part of being specifically a self-published author, so an independently published author? Were there any sort of reality versus expectation moments you had during your time as an indie author?
So crap with marketing. I use my Facebook platform, and that's basically it. Hey, buy my book, bang, you know. But I'm not really smart when it comes to marketing. I've tried to keep up with some of the girls in a couple of groups and to read what they've accomplished and stuff like that through marketing and skills like that. And I look at it and I go, I must be the stupidest person in the world because I don't understand what to do. So I have a lovely friend, Emma James. She's obviously another author. And whenever I get stuck, I give her a call. And she's talked to me off the ledge millions of times. I'd be sitting out the back going, I'm done. I can't do this shit anymore. And she'd go, I'm ringing you now and we're going to talk. And she'd bring me and she'd like, settle down. We got this. But yeah, no, marketing has to be the worst thing for any author, I think, because we just want to concentrate on the books, on the writing, on the amazing stuff. And then you bring in this other thing and it's just like, shit. Okay. But it's such an important part to be like, to have. You have to have it. You've got to do it. It's just the way it is. Like, I've actually been in contact with some marketing companies for my signing because of the simple fact, marketing is hard. It is hard work. If you don't know what you're doing, or you don't know the broad spectrum of the whole thing to bring it all together, it can be quite daunting and overwhelming. And I found myself quite overwhelmed with it many times. So yeah, either me and Emma talk, or I talk to my husband because he used to be in business and stuff, so he kind of knows, and we have friends that know. And I just go, oh, you need to help me. I'm going to have a breakdown, and there's going to be vodka in a corner involved, and I'm just going to be sitting there rocking, and and like I said before, very dramatic person. So I'll be like, I can't do this anymore. And I'm not even crying, but the hands will go, and I'll be like, I'm sweating. It's hot. I can't do this. And what the fuck is wrong with you? And yeah, but somehow I managed to kind of go, all right, pull your shit together. You've got to get this done. But no, marketing, no. My expectations compared to reality, my expectation was when I first signed a Books by the Bridge, I was very gobsmacked at the simple fact of the pre-orders that I actually had and of the people that came to my table. My reality was, the expectation of me, I thought, you know what, I'm going to have plenty of time. No one's going to want to come near me because look at all these amazing friggin' authors around me. Barely had a break. It was actually it flowed really well. And there was one reader, she was amazing. She read all my work and she said she just wanted to meet me, and she shook the whole way to me. She was shaking, and it floored me. It was just and she's like, I just want to give you a hug. And I'm like, I gave her a hug, and it was just an amazing feeling.
So do you work another job as well as full-time authoring? And if not, what were you doing before? And the next question is, what did you want to be when you were a child? Did you always know you wanted to be an author, or did you just grow into it?
No, I used to work, I've done many jobs actually. I used to be an AIN in the nursing homes, and then I had my child, my first son, and then I took time off to have him, and then I found out I was pregnant with my second child. So, and then I just my husband always works, so it was never really a need for me to rush back to work, so that was always a good thing on our side. Yeah, I worked at a petrol station. I've done many jobs, just like casual work and stuff, because my husband said, you're starting to sound like the kids. You're starting to act like the kids. You need to get out and actually socialise with adults. So I went and just did some few jobs here and there and stuff like that. But no, I'm not working at the moment besides authoring and my kids. But I'm basically their bitch, my kids' bitch, because they got dancing, I take them. My son's got army, I take him. They've got to go to their mate's place. They've got to do this. Well, not at the moment, but this is what my life was. I think I had 3 free afternoons a week. That was it, because now it's a little bit easier with my 2 older boys. They're in high school now, so they catch a bus to and from. But I have a 7-year-old daughter that's, she's just, let's say, she's about 10. She's a very personality child, so she's she's a lot to take on. But yeah, no, as I grew up, I actually wanted to be a chef. I love to cook and stuff, but it's very weird, isn't it? But no, author never really dawned on me to be an author, because I didn't think I was capable of becoming an author. Like I said, I struggled as a kid with reading and spelling and stuff. So I kind of, to be honest, and I don't like to talk about it much, but I was bullied because of the simple fact that I couldn't read properly and stuff like that. And I'd rather watch a movie or a TV, and now I can't even fathom that. But before, that's what I did. I'd watch a lot of TV and series and stuff like that. And but what changed me was the simple fact of a couple of years ago, my husband brought me 50 Shades of Grey to read. We'd heard about it, and I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. And I don't know how this is going to go, because I don't know if I'm going to actually understand some of the words. So it's going to be a lot of Googling on my part. Anyway, so I know. And then anyway, so I took them in with me, and I actually read the first couple of pages, and it bored the shit out of me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not reading this. So, And then the first movie came out, and my husband's like, do you actually want to go see it? And I thought, oh, you know what? Let's just go and watch it, because I couldn't read the book. So let's go watch it. So we went and watched the movie, and I heard a lot of people as we left, one, it's not like the books, blah, blah, blah. They missed out so much from the book. And I thought, oh, okay. Well, I actually didn't quite enjoy the movie. It wasn't too bad. I need to go home and read this book and see what the hell I'm missing. And yeah, for the next 24 hours, I sat there and read all three. And then it just started. I had to grab everything I possibly could. I found out about ebooks, and I found about this other stuff like Montana Ash. I actually won a book from her when I was a reader, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And she talked me through the whole Kindle process. Like, it was crazy. And this was literally only a couple of years ago. This was only a year before I started writing myself. So everything I could grab. And then I go to the bookstore, and I'm like, holy shit, I don't think I actually ever went to a bookstore for myself ever in my life. And it was just this array. And I thought, do you know what? Maybe I wasn't reading the right things. I just played every book off as the same, because one, it was too hard for me, or two, it wasn't about what I wanted to read. I wanted to know. Like, I'm not into historical. I'm not historical, not hysterical.
Like hysterical, you're into.
yeah. Like, you know, I like romance and I like all that, but it has to be the new modern stuff. And I thought, well, let's see what I like. And I just started picking up authors. Meredith Wild. I even read the Dominant and Submissive series by, I can't even think of, Tara Sue Lee or Sue Me or something. I can't even think what her name is now. But anyway, I have all these books, and my husband's like, holy shit, this is getting crazy, because now I filled the bedroom with books. I'm like, you have to build me a bookshelf and all this. And but no, Meredith Wild, Sylvia Day, like, these were big, well, they're still big names, but they were big names then, because you had the all the series that came out with is it Gideon and all that. See, that's how long it's been. It's been a while since I've read these books. But and then J.K. Kenner with Stark, the Stark series or whatever it was. And yeah, but yeah, so 50 Shades of Grey, watching the movie and walking out and hearing these people say there's a lot missing from this movie, maybe go home in 24 hours, I read the 3 books, and then that was it. From then on, I didn't see. And then I found Bastard by J.L. Perry, and I loved it. I thought it was amazing. And amazing book. I still read it now. I love it so much. I'm Carter for sure, and I love him. But then another book, when I was writing, or just before I started writing, I read this book. It's called The Hurricane by R.J. Prescott. And it's about England, like they're in England, and a fighter and a girl, and she's running away from a bad past and whatever else like that. And it was amazing. I actually am doing a reread now because I love it. Love the series. But those 2 books, J.L. Perry and R.J. Prescott, they literally made me just go, you know what? I can do this. I can write this book. And me and Rebecca Prescott, we talked through Messenger a fair few times. And she said to me, you got this. Don't even worry about it. You just write your story. You've got this. And she was always in my camp from the beginning. And yeah, I don't know. So yeah, but no, I've lost. See, this is the problem. Don't ask me shit, and then let me just go on, because now I forget what I just answered.
And that'll go well with my next question, leading into the next question. Why did you decide to write Mafia and MC? Is it because of the authors that inspired you, or?
No, that's the funny thing, because they're not Mafia. It's actually, my husband's Italian. So I just went, you know what, I'm going to put a twist on this and do it Mafia. And when I thought about the story, when I really thought about it, I thought, he's Italian. He speaks some Italian, like, or not some, but he speaks Italian. So I need Italian through the book and stuff like that. And then I thought, you know what? I love Mafia. I've always loved Mafia. I love The Godfather. Like all the Mafia movies, I love them. Casino and all that. Like, my husband introduced me to all these Mafia movies when we got together. And MC, I don't know why I started MC. I think because I love Nina Levine's series, the Storm series. I love hers. And Scott Hildreth's, I think it's called Filthy Fuckers series. It's amazing. They're all MC. And I thought, I'll give it a go, you know, because I'm always up for a challenge. Let's see if I can pull it off. That was what it is. And then going to paranormal was just fun. It was just, I wanted to see what I was best at writing. That's what it was. It was a challenge for me, and to see if I could actually do it. I'll never write vampires again in my life. I've done 2 vampire novellas, and by the end of it, I wanted to throw, oh mate, I could throw my computer through a wall. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I can't do it. I don't know. Something about it. It did my head in. I can't do it. I just can't. Bear Shifter, I'll never write again. I don't know. It's just, I've done it once. I can say I've done it, and now I'm done. Yeah. But no, I think I'm stronger with the Mafia and the MC. I don't know. It's just, I think everyone has their taste. You can try a lot of things and work out what you like and what you don't like, I guess. But yeah.
How did you go with because Angel Mine is written in Australia, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
they all are. All my books are.
Do you write with, obviously you probably write with Australian jargon and stuff. How do you find that with the American market? Because I personally have styled mine to like American literature just because majority of my readership is from the States. So do you find, and I notice that when I have certain Australian words or slang words in there that they have a different meaning for it. So there's always like a bit of confusion. So my editor obviously brings those to light. She's American.
I don't use it. I use American,
okay.
because of the simple fact that I was advised when before I first published that I would get a lot of reviews that said I was spelling things wrong and stuff like that. So it was just easier to go to the broader market of America and do it that way. Yes, I do have some slang terms in there, but or the way that someone will talk or something, but it's just that was just a normal thing for me, but my editor would pick them up anyway and change them on me. But no, in my MC series, it's American spelling, but there is some Australian slang in it, like arvo was mentioned, and I think there was a review or something or someone contacted me and said I had to Google what arvo meant because I thought it was a spelling mistake. But once I realized what it actually meant, it made sense, and I went, it's not that hard, and I don't slip in a lot. I just slip in a couple of things so that way people will realize this is Australian. But if I didn't do it the American way, I'd be screwed, honestly, absolutely screwed. So, but my friend Natasha Thomas, she writes for the American public and she lives here. And I just co-written a book with her, and we based it in America and we wrote it American. And she said, you'd be amazed, Kay. And I said, well, give it a go and stuff. I'm not too worried. It's just I like to write about things that I know. So if I'm with somebody and I'm co-writing, you better know, if you want to change the setting, you better know that base, because I want to know full history before I write when I'm writing, because I think that you do want a little bit of realism in that. So I can't write about America if I've never been.
Yeah.
That's always been my thought process. I've never traveled. I've got 3 kids. I've never traveled. Like, I was a young mum, so it's just kind of, I'm Australian, so I know Australia. I know, well, not Australia, but I know my surroundings, and it's easier for me to look up than, I'd be screwed. I'd be spending more time in research than what I would be writing, I think, because I'd be worried that I would stuff it up. I really would, and I wouldn't want someone to go, well, that can't happen. And even though it's not supposed to be real, people still take it as real.
What book are you working on
I'm
at the
working on
moment?
3, actually. 4. I have 4 on the go at the moment. Yeah.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, that's all. Did that just burn your throat?
Yeah. No, I'm Australian. It doesn't burn anymore.
That's right. We know what it's like. No, I've got 4 at the moment. I'm still trying to work on Trixie Mine. The second book to the ink one. Part 2 for Sloth, for the MC, and then a secret one that's going to go into an anthology.
So this is my favorite question to ask everyone. What's the big goal? What's the dream for you as an author? What are you chasing?
I think I'm there.
Yeah.
I think I'm happy where I'm at. I think I'm content. I like the people around me. I love the authors that I've met, the anthologies, the signing, the books that I'm writing. I think I'm where I need to be. I look to the future and I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. I take it day by day, because not only not to get disappointed if it never comes true, but the simple fact of I don't know what's going to happen. Yes, I want to travel. Yes, I want to do all that, which it's already been set up to do. And unfortunately, of course, I was supposed to travel at the end of this year, but now, I think everybody's list may have New York Times bestseller. I think, and personally, yeah, it'd be great if I got it, if I ever got to that point. But also, it doesn't diminish me as an author, if I got it or didn't. Yeah, I think I'm happy at the moment. I don't need to push any further. I think I can just keep going on my ladder, helping people that need to be helped around me if they need it, to get them to where they want to be, I guess. I don't want to be like a mentor, but it doesn't hurt to help somebody else.
I was going to say, I love how humble you are about, everything, your successes as an author, but also the steps that you want to take. And it's more so, obviously, you love your writing and the books that you're producing, but you really focus and care about, the network and the community. And I think that's people like you are really important in the author community. So it's really nice to hear and see, because you are so grounded with it.
Thank you. Nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I can be let's just say bitch. I can be a bitch. But But be honest, everybody can. Like, you step on mine and what's in my area, then obviously I'm going to say, hey, no, back up. Like, I'm not a complete pure at heart sort of person. I just believe that karma is real, and that if you push somebody to that point, then you deserve what's coming. I got pushed to the point last year. I really did. I got really backed into a corner, and I had things said about me that weren't true, and I had to come onto Facebook and do a live post. And that's the worst thing. I had to get to do a live post to defend myself. And when you got me to that point, that's when I was beyond done in that sense. Yeah, I grew up with a father that told me, trust, respect is all earned, and you are equal with everybody. You ain't beneath anybody. And I that's what I live by, and I tell my kids the exact same. You are the same level as anybody else. I don't care if they think they're higher or lower or whatever, or if someone's lower, bring them to your level. Don't let them feel like they are lower than you. Respect and loyalty. If you haven't got that, you've got nothing.
So I have little questions at the end.
Yeah.
Two of them you've already answered, which was what's your favourite book and who are the authors you followed.
Yes.
But we covered that.
Yes, we did.
And you love a lot of authors and books.
I do.
So speaking of travel, where is the place that you haven't travelled yet? So where is the place you most want to travel to?
Ireland.
And why?
Ireland. Always been Ireland.
Really?
Ever since I was a little girl, Ireland. Yeah, I'm a redhead, man. I want to go drink beer in an Irish pub and blend in for once.
Ireland's really beautiful. You'll love it.
Yeah, I'd love to go. No, I want to see the rolling hills and the castles, and it's just always so peaceful looking and beautiful. And I just thought, you know what, it'd be amazing to just be able to sit there and just soak it up. Just, yeah, like I don't want to go to Bali. I don't want to go to Hawaii. I'm not a summer person. I am fair skinned. And I just can't handle the heat. Send me to Ireland.
Now that you mention it, I'm just like, actually, you suit Ireland just perfectly. The weather, like, I'm just like, you're fine, you've got this. I can see you in a pub with a pint in hand, you're ready, singing along, you're fine.
Yeah, I might, see, that'd be me. I'd be playing darts and stuff, because I love it. I think that's the best atmosphere. And as I grew up around pubs and the Speedway and stuff like that, and big family gatherings and stuff. And it's just, I just want to go to Ireland. That's just my dream. My husband is obviously Italian. He wants to go back to Italy, and I want to do the whole Europe tour with him and stuff, but I want to end up in Ireland. That's my dream. That's it. Yeah. So, yeah, without my kids, when they stay home, and I'll do that.
What is your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve is people talking while they're fucking eating, or eating with their mouth open. Like, I could literally cut a bitch. Like, I would literally just lose my shit. Like, my kids sit there at the table, and I'm like, you are not a cow, close your mouth. And I remember as a little girl, and I'd sit at the table, and my mother would say the same thing to me. So it kind of just, I think I grew up with that, and it was just kind of like, you do not sit next to me, and you open your mouth while you're eating, and you do not talk to me if there is food in your mouth, because I would want to smack you in the face. Like, it is the worst thing ever. My husband does it to me. He does it, I think, to piss me off. And I like shake, and I'm not even being dramatic. I'm like, I'm going to fucking kill you. Like, it is the worst thing in the world you could do to me.
So what I'm going to do is next time we're at a signing event together, I'm going to request my table across from you and just chew the entire time on lollies with my mouth full, staring at you, making eye tags, going, how long until she comes over here and flips my table? Let's do a little count.
My husband sits there with a bag of chips, and he'll just go like this and shove them in his mouth, and he's like, what's up, babe? Like, I just want to vomit. I get the whole gag thing going on, and then I just go, I'm going to smack in the face. Like, I end up throwing something at him, or I'm very violent. I'm a very violent person. If you do shit like that, it's just stop. Just, if you did that to me, like, your table would be on its ass, and you'd probably be against the wall. Like, I would lose my shit. Like, you'd be running for the corner for a bottle of vodka. Like, because I would lose my
I would have somebody... I would have somebody recording this the whole time now and be like, start putting, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit of a pot stirrer, so if I think something's going to be funny, even if it's at my expense, I'm there.
Author's Gone Wild or some shit.
Yeah, Author's Gone Wild in Australia, and you're just losing it, and I'm just laughing.
Yeah, and then if I ever get arrested, they'll be like, you know, she got arrested for that woman chewing with her mouth open. I don't give a fuck. I'll go to jail.
Put her behind bars. Okay. Put her behind bars. She's an animal. So my last question is then, what is one of your quirks that a lot of people don't know about you?
I don't know if I have a quirk. I don't know. I'm just trying to think. I like, can I talk about, like, when I lay down on my bed overnight, and, like, when I'm watching TV in bed and I can't actually go into my doona covers until I'm ready to go to sleep, because then, like, I lose my crispy spot. Like, it's not cold anymore. Like, I like to I don't know. It's really weird. My husband thinks it's weird, and it's probably one of the main reasons weird things I do. I literally, when I go to bed and I'm not ready to go to sleep, I don't care if I'm cold. I will literally pull another blanket over me. But my doona will stay underneath me, and I'll read and I'll watch TV or whatever I'm doing. And then when it's time to go to sleep, I like have a routine. I will put my stuff away and turn the light off, and then I flip my pillow over because I've already been leaning on it, even though I've had a boomerang pillow on it. So I take the boomerang pillow off and I put it on the ground because it's too hot now because I've been laying on it. And then I flip my pillow around so it's still cold. And then I will slide into bed because now it's cold and it has to heat up to my body heat. That's probably my weirdest quirk. And then if it's too hot, I have to, yeah.
You're like, I don't have a quirk, but I have a very specific routine when I lay in my bed.
Basically, that's what I do. And my husband used to, like, he'd get into bed and he wouldn't give a shit, right? So he doesn't care. He will get into bed and go to sleep like that. I can't. But then he would try to creep his legs over to my side of the bed and heat up my spot, and I would lose my mind. And so I'd literally kick him and move his leg and then put my leg there as a barrier so he couldn't cross my line because you are going to wreck my crispy spot. That's what I call it, a crispy spot, because it's nice and cool. I don't care if it's winter, summer, autumn, spring. Don't give two shit. It needs to warm up when I want it to, not because I want to lay there for an hour or two reading. No, I need it to be cool when I first go to sleep. I know, I'm weird. And my husband thinks I'm a fucking weirdo, but that's what I do. That's it. So that and eating with your mouth open, they're my things.
I'm so glad we entered this interview on those two things that came out as a clear shot warning.
This whole segment is going to be censored and the weirdest fucking author in the world.
I love it. Well, I think that has basically concluded the interview. So firstly, thank you so much for joining me. And I'm sorry that we had some IT issues and glitches, but we made it in the end together with a lot of patience and whiskey. But do you have anything coming up or anything that you sort of want to talk about before we end?
Well, at the moment, everything's up in the air because of this COVID thing. So no, I'm just concentrating on the kids and getting them to do their schoolwork and stuff like that. I'm trying to get back into writing. So that's my main thing. So if I don't talk about it too much, then hopefully it will start happening soon, because otherwise I'm going to be a mess. But otherwise, yeah. No, that's about it, I think. That's it. That's all I got for you. Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm going to stop recording this, but thank you for joining me.
No worries. Thanks for having me. I had a ball.